Okay, today we're going to be putting these lenses on this camera. All right, so this is a Mamiya 645 Pro. It's a medium format film camera. It's actually my aunt's. She left it with us and I get to play around with it now. I shoot some film. I'm by no means a professional film photographer, but I've had a lot of fun using this thing. I've also had a lot of fun using this thing, my Sony a6500. So I thought, why not get an adapter to use these lenses on this? I bought this on Amazon for like $40 or $50. It works pretty well. So I have two lenses that I adapt. I have an 80mm, which is this one right here. And then I have a 45, which is the one on this right now. I use the 45 more, one, because an 80 on a crop camera is just really tight, but two, because I just like the build of this lens more. The focus throw, though it's very smooth, it takes so long to focus or to rack focus from really close to really far away. So you can spin this thing for ages, compared to this, which is just a quick little. Nonetheless, I like both of them a lot, and it's just fun to use old vintage film lenses on newer cameras. One thing to note is that the distance from where the lens connects to where the camera connects is pretty substantial. I mean, that's bigger than some of my pancake lenses just with the adapter on. Anyways, bam. And now you have a film lens on a Sony camera. I think it looks really cool. I mean, because especially the 45, it just kind of looks like a cine lens. Obviously these lenses are old, so you can only manual focus with them. But it's still fun for shooting B-roll or when you don't really need autofocus and when you can take your time. So I did a side-by-side photo comparison with these. What I did was I put the Sony on a tripod, and then I would take an item like a plant or some chapstick, leave the item where it was, set my settings, and then all I would do would be swap the lenses. So then I did 3 versions of each photo. I did an unedited version straight out of the camera, an edited version, and then kind of like a solarized version almost to really show the distinction between what the film lenses can do and then what a normal Sony glass lens looks like. All right, so the first one I did was just a plant that my roommate has. And I tried to get the framing as best as I could with all of them, but there's definitely a little bit of difference. But right off the bat, you could notice that because everything around is white, the film lens definitely has a really green tint to it compared to the Sony, although the white balance was completely the same. Next one, some chapstick. Pretty much the same. And then obviously I was having to manual focus with the film lens, so it's not as sharp, but you can really see this nice green tint. Then I took a photo of our living room, of this fake plant in our living room. And this one I actually like what the film lenses did more, because there's still kind of like a warmish haze to it, which in this case I think looks really good. Okay, so then I edited the photos. I applied the same edits to each object. So the edit for the chapstick is the same for both chapsticks. These, again, the film camera still has that kind of greenish haze on it. That's very typical of a lot of vintage glass, at least like cheap, vintage glass. Same thing with the plant, and then same thing with the room. So then what I did was I did some crazy edits on them. Okay, so here's the chapstick with the Mamiya, and here's it with the Sony. And really right away, you can see how much bluer the table is with the Sony lens compared to the Mamiya. And then the back wall is very purple, whereas with the Sony lens, not at all. Then with the plant, same thing. The table and the wall kind of flip between each lens. With the room, you can't see as much really. Honestly, the Mamiya one just looks a little darker, and the back wall is kind of a darker shade of blue. So it was neat to kind of see a controlled test just with these. And then I also did a field test. I took the lenses to work one day and shot around with them, mainly with the 85, the 80. And I actually really like how these perform shooting B-roll, especially with the 80, because you can kind of get some nice close-up stuff. I think the bokeh is really pleasing with these. A lot of people say that there's a lot of vignetting with film lenses, and that's probably true. I don't really care about that. And it's not like super pronounced all the time. It's not bad at all. All in all, I like these for video much more than I like using them for photo. Especially because of the focus throw. Also just kind of how cool they look, at least this one. This one looks terrible on this. It looks very strange. I won't say that I actually use these for like work a lot or jobs. I just kind of use them just for my own stuff or when I want to play around with things. But I would definitely recommend checking out this adapter. I'll link it. I'm not an Amazon affiliate, so I don't care where you buy it from. Actually, I do. You shouldn't buy it from Amazon because they're pretty terrible. But that might be the only place you can get it, so you might have to. Done. Thanks for watching.